Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are documenting a proprietary method called market DNA. We're going to walk through a specific case study for the NASDAQ 100.
Now, just so we're clear, this analysis is for documentation and public verification only. The method we're looking at doesn't use any traditional, technical, or fundamental analysis. So, with that said, let's dive right in.
The asset under observation here is the NASDAQ 100 index. You'll also see it called US100.
And for this particular analysis, the specific cycle is identified as US100 4_4.
The system is currently in what it calls Phase 1. This is really the starting block for the entire process. All right, let's move on and see how this all builds out. This first section covers the defined entry points according to the model.
Okay, so here's the chart as of February 4th, 2026. You can see there are several geometric shapes applied here. We've got some triangles, a trapezoid, and a line labeled as the mirror delay. And the price, as you can see, has just reached that level marked M.
So the model specifies two entry levels for this first phase. The primary entry, which it calls M, is at 25,062.2. Then there's a secondary optional entry, PC, at 24,728.
Next up, we're going to document the risk management parameters for this setup. This is all based on a set of predefined inputs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it lays out all the inputs. Everything for the risk calculation is right here. We're starting with a hypothetical capital of $100,000 and a maximum allowed drawdown of 5%.
So here's the crucial point. This specific rule dictates exactly how the trade size is determined. Let me read it for you. Both trade sizes are calculated using the hypothetical capital, the investor's maximum allowed drawdown, the third triangle domain percentage, the risk coefficient, and the contract size.
And based on all those inputs that we just saw, the calculated size for each trade comes out to be 0.14.
Okay, so with the entry and risk parameters all defined, let's look at the model's targets.
The model actually identifies three potential targets here. Target 1, or T1, is the mirror line. Target 2, T2, is at a point called apex N, which is marked as a safe exit. And finally, target 3, T3, is the top of the trapezoid, which is the full exit.
And this brilliantly illustrates the projected outcomes. If only that first entry gets triggered, the expected annual return is 27.25%. But if both entries are triggered, that expected annual return jumps to 53.29%.
All right, before we conclude, it is absolutely essential that we cover the mandatory disclaimers.
Please remember, this is not financial advice. This is a neutral documentation of a method. That's it. And you should always follow the specific risk management rules provided.
So what you should really take away from this is a crystal clear picture of the initial setup. The next phases are going to document the outcome as it unfolds. We'll be following this case study very closely to see what happens next.